lock up on us, which is part of the reason why I updated it to begin with.
It's
So let me know if it
recording.
freezes.
Right there.
Is it? Everybody say hi to our documentary.
Alright, so, last person. You know, so you seem very technical. So you're going to be the multitasker. So this has an EMF built into it as well, just like James. But yours is way more accurate because it's digital. Hers goes to 25 milligauss. Yours I've seen spike over 200. So we're going to be using yours a little bit more than the debunking one that I have over here. So anything above 2.5, I want to know what's going on with the big numbers. The bottom is ambient temperature. Double A Ron over here, find something on his camera. Sorry, I had to get the name right.
I'm so excited.
We can debunk it or prove it with obviously the sensor at the top. The last thing that it has is it has a motion sensor at the top. If something gets close to the antenna that I just pulled out, it will go off. I'm not touching it right now. Now I'm touching it, just so you guys know.
Oh, what's that?
Now, we are going to set that
What is
off
going
right now,
on?
so you can kind of get used to the numbers first. I'll tell you more about that at our next location. So, you guys are all geared up.
What would you normally use this for commercial market?
To test for wiring. Mainly. Alright, so everybody has devices. I say Lily's in charge. So go have fun, let me know what happens. No, I'm kidding, no fun. So I'm gonna take a drink. You guys are definitely gonna have me on my toes tonight. I can already feel it. Jamie, you've been very quiet, by the way. You're very quiet. There's a reason why we started here. Big John's behind me, of course, is a haunted building. Watch your lasers, they will set off car alarms. Yeah, so when you turn it that way, you hit that car, and I don't know what kind of alarm system it has.
How does that happen?
Motion inside the vehicle. I don't like to run with 9 people, it's not fun. So you know.
That's our car right there.
Oh, perfect. So I tested. Back to Big John's. This place used to be owned by a football player named Big John Kennedy. Obviously, you now know why they named it Big John's. So he used to sit in. Well, he played for the 1947 New York Giants. Whenever I'm giving you the history of a location or a building, I will always slow down on specific keywords for all of you Spirit Box folks. So this location, obviously the keywords are going to be 47, New York, Giants, and anything relatable to a bar or the name John. So people do not like their cars to be filmed, by the way, just so you know. Yeah, we're going to have some rules.
Okay, I was just trying to make like a documentary.
You are.
Yeah.
But anyway, he used to sit in the
can't
back
see
of
the
the bar,
car.
and he would tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel, if they were old enough to drink or not. One night, 2 guys come in, they're not old enough to drink, so he has the bartender throw them out. They come back the next night pretty angry, and they try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. Big John sees what's going on, he slams down his beer, and he goes over and starts beating the hell out of these guys, just pounding them right to the floor. A couple of gunshots go off. John gets grazed in the neck, and the bullet lands behind him in the wall. He gets up, after being the only one that's been shot, by the way, goes back to the bar and tells the bartender to get him another beer, get the 2 guys on the floor, and ambulance. Now, normally I tell you a building's haunted, all of your minds went to some tragic death that occurred here. What's haunting this building is the bullet hole. It's allegedly still here. I say allegedly because the Big John renovation that we're looking at right now could have filled it in, but that doesn't mean that Big John's blood is still not inside this building. So, people that sit in the front of this bar tend to get a little queasy, nauseous, or headache. This is kind of your heated warning. Fingers crossed we're going to have paranormal activity tonight. I've yet to have a tour that did not have something come through, but I don't know how that's going to affect any one of you. Anybody feels any of those light symptoms, I need to know immediately so we can get that person to safety and move the whole group. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Again, it got real serious, didn't it? So, I do have to put that warning out there because it does happen. We're going to always blame humidity first, but we just never know. So, let's move on to something else because some of you just looked at me like, what the hell did I just sign up for? None of you said you've been taking history tours here in Charleston, but we all talk about a specific earthquake that happened here in 1886. So if you've taken a history tour, you already knew that, but this building behind me is allegedly where the first death occurred from that earthquake. The mantle you see in the middle of the building wraps around the front as well. They say a piece of it broke off, struck somebody in the back of the head, and killed them. And that you can see his ghost in the middle of East Bay Street amongst all that traffic in the middle of the night. I said apparently and allegedly a lot with that because I don't have any proof. It's just a great segue, so none of you are thinking about getting sick on the tour, even though I brought it up again. So, is everybody ready to go ghost hunt?
Yes.
All right, let's get the hell off this corner. We're going to go this way.
This could be the last sighting of us.
Literally. It just cuts off, disappears,
No,
never
like
seen again.
it's like one of those things where like the camera drops and then like no one's there.
We just start running and then we just disappear and then we're gone forever.
Yeah.
don't know. He said he would tell you when.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta see if there's any ghosts out here. Gotta see if there's any.
A bar.
No. I'm coming. I'm coming. I don't know what I'm supposed to. Just. I can't look at the camera. And that's.
Alright, is that thing still going?
Yes.
It didn't freeze up?
No.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
That's happy. Alright, so welcome to the Big Red Barn. Notice my voice dropped a little bit. That's because the horses aren't on this farm and my thing here. The windows down there do not have any glasses, which is part of the reason why we use earbuds with most of the spirit boxes here. So, now that you know where you're at, let me tell you the one line of history here so you can go further into your devices. So, let's just look at Aaron's camera, making sure it's on the left-hand side. He's good. But this building is the same red barn that held horses that used to deliver milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. Obviously, keywords being delivery, milk, eggs, anything relatable to a stable. So now that we're kind of thinking about horses, let's talk about these spirit boxes. So, how many do we have in play tonight? 5, right? I think so.
1. She's got 1.
What?
2, 3,
3.
4.
Okay.
Okay, so we have 4 spirit boxes in play tonight. Sorry, I have 6. Sometimes I have. How many do I have out there? Because that's like the most prominent thing everybody wants to use. Everybody wants to ask the same question whenever they get a communication device. What do you think that question is? Think of a Ouija board.
Are you here?
Are you here? Right. So if you hear the answer of no, that means somebody's here.
Right.
So we are not going to be asking yes or no questions all night long. If you're here and you're a skeptic, which I don't want to know if you are, you're still here for some kind of paranormal proof and to have some fun with this. So you're going to be asking specific, detailed questions in these locations to hopefully get the answers. Yes and no answers will not count in my book, just so you know. I'm going after the details. So in a space like this, to people that have never used a spirit box before, I would say ask a question you already know the answer to. If somebody's here, tell me what color the big red barn is. Obviously, we are looking and listening for the color red. I'm saying looking because Anne has the digital word list. She's only looking. She doesn't have to listen to it. But the rest of you are using song lyrics and DJs to convey messages back to us. The word red might not be available to them to give you a direct answer. Fire truck, blood, heart. Those 3 things are specifically red. I would take that as an acceptable answer. So, you guys hear what color is the big red barn and you hear blood immediately after that, I'm good. However, most of the night, I'm going to require that there's at least 2 happenings going on with obviously 1 or more devices. For example, let's say Anne's word list gives us the word heart. It doesn't mean anything by itself over here. We're next to a big red barn and obviously a football player's bar, right? But then Charm here's the number 40. Together, Art Faircloth was number 40 on Big John's team. You guys see where I'm putting all of these clues together? We're going to be talking a lot about people in deep history, colonial times. They all have the same damn names. So Charleses and Georges, we need to know who the hell we're talking to. That's why we look for those verifying clues. So again, this is again about putting a lot of puzzles together. I'm super excited that the word lamb showed up. We're going to talk about that at the next location. But that is super, super important. I can't believe it actually showed up. And I'm going to give you a little bit extra of a story of the backstory of that because I'll tell you why I'm so excited. Let's go into the cameras real quick. Let's go into the laser bit. So Lily and Katie, go ahead and point one of your lasers down on the ground for me. There you go, perfect. So you're going to be as still and slow as possible when you guys are moving around. So Lily, when you're filming that, you don't want to film down because we already know what these circles look like. We're looking for things between the pen and the ground. So you want to film in here.
Okay.
So it's almost like you want to take a step backwards. There you go. So that way you have a nice even, like 2 steps, I would say 2 to 5 feet away. And again, you want to try to keep this edge as close to your toes as possible, just because that shows you're in control of them. We don't want to set up any car alarms. These certain spaces that we're going to experiment with, where you'll be shining it, from one side of an alley to another one, and you'll be filming through that whole laser grid to hopefully capture something together. Now, if you're going to use both of those lasers together, you don't want to cross the streams. So, that Ghostbuster joke that nobody got.
I got it.
Okay, I was waiting for at least a chuckle. But again, you want to keep them side by side, otherwise it's pointless, and you just created one giant grid and a smaller space for a ghost to pass through for us to be able to find.
So use them one at a time?
You can use them both at a time, just make sure like that. Perfect. Yeah. Excellent. Broken. Alright, so.
Would I have a question?
Yes.
That restarted on the left.
Yes, it's going to restart like every 9 minutes and
Okay.
47 seconds.
Okay.
Just because those files are giant.
Okay.
So what happens, I splice them all together so you only have one video to watch.
Okay.
Great question. Aaron, look at yours. You're going to try to do two things for us. First off, stop recording. Whoever handled that, I see the circle, it's not recording right now. Hit that circle again. You're going to try to do two things. I know I told you, well, again, just for all camera sakes, we're going to be in spaces where there's going to be parked cars and people walking by. We don't film people's cars, and we definitely don't film people walking by. We definitely don't want to look like YouTubers out here. So, with that being said, I still want you to try to keep one of us in view at all times. The reason being is because we're the warmest thing out here. That's going to give you an array of color on your screen. So that way, it's much easier to find those cold spots. I also want you to try to keep the sky out of view. The reason why is because that blue dot that's bouncing on the screen is going to default to the sky looking for a surface when there is no surface on the sky. So that way, it's going to be impossible in some places, but just do your best, just so you know. But again, nice slow movements out of both cameras. That way we have a nice video to watch, and it's not like you're trying to make a documentary like Blair Witch Project, because nobody liked that movie. But I think everybody has
I love that movie!
That area, we're from that exact area.
It's funny, I never used that reference, so maybe there was a reason why I did that tonight. I think everybody has a basic gist of their devices at this point, except for Austin, which I'm going to work with him at the next location, because there's a lot that goes into that motion sensor. So let's get away from
Very complicated. Very complicated.
It's a good thing I know how to work it, right?
He knows the light on.
He turns the light off and says, "I broke it." There you go. But it's pretty complicated. I'm glad you guys are laughing because this is supposed to be a good time. Let's get away from football players and ponies. They'll learn some much deeper history. What do you think?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Go this way.
Dun dun dun! On our first ghost trip, will we catch anything? He's gonna be so annoyed of me when he watches this back.
Probably.
I'm sorry.
Gotta keep it.
I'm sorry. I have a camera. What do you expect me to do? I can't film cars, so
Yeah, just keep it down.
I'll film my feet.
Anything else popping up on your crazy list there?
Raid.
When did Silly show up? Was it when Austin was making jokes?
Over there, yeah.
Okay.
Now they do.
Sometimes we'll get terms that are kind of relevant to what's going on with us, like, hey, make a right. Like, you'll hear those kind of things. It happens all the time. Because you have the word silly, which, and just so you know how to get to the word list, it's right there. Little white box, and then you can scroll through and actually see everything. Look at that, we were talking about me being a writer earlier. I'm going to see if my name shows up after that. Somebody hears my name. A lot of times. Stop, man. You got to take it back.
Oh, I can't film cars. I don't know what's with this filming cars. I don't know.
So, welcome to a parking lot. Congratulations, you made it. So, super exciting, right?
Well, there's my car, so we might as well just go then.
This place used to be something, but first off, Spirit Boxes, I am not going to be giving you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. You're going to get the answers from your Spirit Boxes, and I withhold information on purpose so that way you guys actually have a genuine experience. Is that fair to everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. This is my rule of my game, right? So, okay, anyway, whatever, just fair. So, what is this place? This used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney Mansion. It actually sat in the front of this space. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. So that's the layout of the land. So who were these people? They had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's three Charleses. The father, the son, and the nephew were all named Charles. See why I look for the secondary verifier now? We need to know which Charles Pinckney we're actually speaking to. But the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. It's a pretty big deal for us, but I hate politics more than everybody here. Let's move on. We're going to talk about Eliza. Eliza's way cool. So, especially during Women's History Month, most of my stories are fine about like women heroes, just so you guys know. But Eliza, she married Charles because, well, let's start off with her age. So she was really young when she married him. The only reason I bring this up is because it's not going to be the ages that you would normally hear from colonial times from when she lived, like 12 and 14. It would be young according to today's standards, and I bring this up because her husband was over double her age. So, creepy age back then, creepy age now, just so you guys know. It's not going to be as bad as you think when you actually hear the numbers. But she married him because her father, over in England, thought he was dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home. He wants to see them one last time before he dies. She didn't think he was dying, so she stayed put and got married. It's 1744. You don't marry somebody in 1744 for a green card, like what we do now. We're not even a country yet, so just kind of keep that in mind. She did marry him out of love, and yes, she remained a widow after his death. Remember, he was double her age when they married. He died first. Wow, hit all the trees, buddy. Go for it. But anyway, she was right. Dad did not die right away. So instead, he starts sending her gifts to this space. You guys have been in town for at least an hour or so that I know of. You've seen the word indigo somewhere. One of the gifts that he sent her were the plant seeds of indigo. What the hell is indigo? It makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. Yep, you're wearing it right now. Good job, Charm. I usually only have one person that's wearing it. Yeah, and I don't wear like jean shorts anymore. This is not 1996. So, right? Yeah,
I mean,
gotta
it's
wear
cooler for girls.
It is, definitely. Yeah, you guys can't do that anymore.
They're coming back though.
The kids already make fun of me because of my cargo jeans. We're not giving anything there. But anyway,
That's official dad gear right there.
well, this is ghost hunting gear, man. Like this is what I do every day. Always cargo. And I used to have the dad clip on my phone, and then of course I got made fun of horribly for that, so I finally got rid of that one. But anyway, back to Eliza. So the dad sends her indigo. She doesn't know what to do with it. So she has to learn from her slaves how to keep it cultivated because it's not always hot here. Once she figures it out, she moves it to another plantation just south of here, and she calls her dad up, not literally because there's no phones in 1744, and she says, hey dad, the rice plantations are going downhill, we can make a killing with the indigo. Now we have an international businesswoman during colonial times. This is a huge deal. However, that's her business. You guys are all here for the weird stuff, so let's get into the weird stuff, shall we? So I'm going to go kind of around the horn. Well, actually, I'm going to start with you because you already have one of the answers, and I want to stick to it. There were two wives named Eliza and Charles back to back. Both Elizas had a maiden name that starts with the letter L. The first wife had a maiden name that was Lamb. Exactly the same spelling you had on your spirit box when I handed it to you over at Big John's. So, what I want you to try to do is to try to find out which, like the Eliza that planted the indigo, what her maiden name was. It also starts with L, but I'm not going to give you the answer. That's known. So, that's going to be your set of questions. Aiden, I want you to go after what happened to the mansion. So, like, it's obviously not here. And then if you get an answer, ask when. Hopefully you get a date. If anything, just the year. That would still give us enough verification that we have somebody talking to us. Let's see. Charm, I want you going after... I don't know how I want to do this. Let's switch this up for a second. Who has the other spirit box? Where'd she go? Oh, Raina. So, the three of you are going to be going after the children. So, yeah, I know, right?
Love children.
So, what I'm going to tell you about this whole scenario with the children, I want you to ask how many kids there were and what their names are, and that is all. The reason why is because there's a tragedy among those kids. Do not poke the bear with asking about that tragedy, because all activity will stop. Have we had any numbers show up yet? No. And
There's a 5 now.
of course, it shows up afterwards. So you're supposed to tell me all the numbers that show up after 2.5. Okay, so you've got a 5 so far.
I'm at 6.8 now.
5 and 6.8. I have to write those down. So, names and the number of children. And I separated those questions because your spirit box loves to only give us like 1, 2 syllables at a time. So those are nice simple answers that hopefully you can get out of the spirit boxes. Oh,
Okay.
nice. Remember those. Alright. Charms are going to be about Eliza's death.
Don't
You can ask her
how
anything you want.
Don't
How old she was, what she died from, where
I
she
kinda
buried,
like that.
and what U.S. president was a pallbearer at her funeral.
I'm gonna look in the window.
Yeah,
to see
these
if
are
I
very,
can-
very important questions. These are questions,
I've
guys,
already
that I
finished
normally
that
get the
one.
answers to. So when you're asking these type of questions, if you go rogue, which you can, and want to try to find out more about her, just make sure it's something we can actually prove. So names, dates, that kind of thing. If you want to ask about birthdays, whatever you want to do, or death date.
Telling us to hurry.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh.
So we are in a space where there are parked vehicles, so cameras, all of those rules that I mentioned earlier definitely apply. people are walking through the lot, you are not near that person's car, you're just going the opposite way. If I do like an Andy's coming, so Lily, basically your camera's the hardest one to hide. You just want to point it down at the ground.
Okay.
Okay, so, and then yours is a cell phone. It's
I'm just trying to get my shirt.
little guy playing with a cell phone. It's not anything heavy. So, sorry, but
I just got a
I can say
deformed.
that. So, we are going to spread out in this lot. We're not going to go in between these vehicles. We're kind of lucky tonight it's only half full, so we have a little bit more space to work with than normal. But definitely get those spirit boxes cranked up. I'm going to work with Austin for a few minutes to show him how to work that REM pod. That's very complicated. That he keeps saying is very complicated.
Turn on the backlight.
As far like you're already recording on your video cameras, so again, let's get to work. Let's see what we can find. I'm going to be bouncing around with all of you to see what you're actually hearing and piecing all these puzzles together.
You know what's really bad?
So again, I'm going to be bouncing around after I'm done with Austin, so kind of keep
I
track
know,
of
but are
what
we
you're
supposed to
hearing.
overhear
And
anything?
again, if you wanted to listen in as well,
Is it
you
still
can.
muted?
Yeah.
So again,
So we need to
very quiet.
unmute it.
I know how to
Very quiet.
Yeah, but so will we hear? Okay.
Fair enough.
That's
And
why
the
I
good
was
thing I
trying to
gave it to
figure
the chatty Cathy out of the group. All right, let's spread out. Let's see what we can find. I'm gonna work it off.
Or I'll get some cars. I really want to come over here because I saw a shadow walk by over there. Well, but then maybe we should go there. But I'm like feeling. I'm feeling. You know how I like see shit? I'm seeing stuff over here. Oh my god.
Hey guys.
Hello, Wait, is it 3 children?
We have to ask how many.
No. Okay.
We have to ask how many there were.
We are welcoming any spirits if they want to talk to us today. And we are wanting to know about the children. What was that? Stop talking.
How many children
Were there?
were there?
This connects with radios too.
Yeah.
So it's
Can you
music.
talk to us, please, and tell us how many children there were?
We're grown-ups now. Love you for life.
She just talked.
Yeah. The children that we are wanting to contact today, right now, if you're here, can you please tell us your names? We are very friendly, and we just want to.
Try to avoid that car and record that direction.
Wait, bring that over here so you can hear it on the camera, in case something pops up.
How many children were there?
I need to be near the camera.
It's fine. It's right here.
Can you tell us the names of any of the children? What are your names?
It looks so stupid. It looks so stupid.
Do you not want to talk to us? Can you walk in front of my laser? You're here?
If you do not want to talk to us, or you do want to talk to us, can you please tell us by talking into this box, or walking in front of the lasers? I said please. Shutty?
How many kids were there? Were there 3?
Wait.
Were there 5?
Cars going by. I think it's.
No, this one.
Said I love you for life, but not to soul our hearts. It's not like a thing.
Sorry, I just heard the number 2, but I think there was 3.
You heard the number
I think
2?
I heard number 2. I don't know.
Here, just stay.
Are there 2 of you guys,
Here,
please?
back up.
Are there 2 children?
Were there 2 children? 3 children?
What were their names?
Even if you are not the children and you are Big John or any other spirit that would love to contact us or talk with us today, right now, you are welcome to join and to communicate with us or walk in front of the lasers.
How many children were there?
3.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
3?
It could have been like a song,
Well, he said they communicate through song lyrics. So,
but I think I heard 3. Were there 3 children? Were there 3 children? If there is anyone or anything that would like to contact us right now, whether you are the children or not the children, you are 100% welcome to contact us and talk with us. You can even touch us if you want.
what?
I'm welcoming myself to be touched. I don't know about you guys, but
Fine.
the video if you just put
But
it.
they said wait.
You're one of the kids. Did you run through the laser?
Yeah, it sounded like it either said wait or away. Wait,
That was wait.
wait.
We have to wait.
It said wait twice.
You want us to wait here? What was the here?
Yes.
Sounds like music.
Yeah, but
Mom, kind of spread it more outwards, except not on the car. Yeah.
How many children were there? We know something very tragic happened. We just want to know how many children there were.
He said 3 twice. I'm pretty sure.
What were their names?
What were the children names?
Tell us some of their names.
Aaliyah? Oh shoot, there's people. Hey y'all, just ghost hunting. Don't mind us. What was the oldest child's name? Aaliyah, I swear I'm hearing Aaliyah. What was the middle child's name?
George?
I didn't hear anything.
I don't either, but
Can you tell us the genders of the 3 children? What was the oldest child's gender?
I've heard 2 male voices.
Yeah, but it's music. Come here, I'm trying to look at you can. I don't think this is it. Go, let's try to go over there.
Turned it the wrong way. Turned it my eye.
Let's try to go over there. Cause, so, I heard 3 and then I heard the name Aaliyah. That's all I heard. That's it. So I don't know. But I heard 3 twice and then I heard Aaliyah twice. So I think, I said what was the oldest's name and they said Aaliyah. Which is a pretty name. Is there anything over here that would like to contact us with us? You can walk in front of the here. Watch out. You can walk in front of the lasers or contact us through the box. Or you're welcome to touch me.
You want to come and play, kid?
That was a creepy question. Why would you say that? Do you want to come and play?
Run through the lasers. Pretend it's a sprinkler. Run through the lasers.
You gotta be serious.
I am.
Called it?
I think they said calm down.
Calm down. I heard called it.
I don't know. Something CG.
Yeah.
So like calm down, called it, something like that. Can you repeat what you said just a second ago?
Do you want to talk to us? What was that? Do you want to talk to us? Or do you want us to leave? I want you to sit down? Okay, sit down. Sit down. I swear I heard it said I want you to sit down.
I thought I heard it too.
Here, put it. Do you want to... Oh, shit. Sorry. Do you want to talk to us today, or do you want us to leave? You are welcome to walk through the lasers, or to talk to us, or to touch us, or touch me. I don't care to be touched. I know you guys probably don't want to. Or to show me that you are here, because I can see stuff sometimes.
You told us to sit down. Come sit with us.
Do you, I think we got the most when I said, do you want to talk to us, or do you want us to leave? And then it said a bunch of different things.
It just sounded like
He
really
said that they
loud.
talk. He said that they talk
scattered.
in syllables. So, and we're not talking to a box. Talk like out loud.
Yeah.
You're like talking to the box.
I'm talking out loud, but I'm trying to listen through the box.
Yeah.
If you are here, can you please come and contact us and talk to us? Is anybody here right now? Okay, so I'm pretty sure we said how many children. I heard 3, and then I said what was the oldest name, and I heard Aaliyah. I could be wrong. I could be hearing like a song name or something.
They're like not.
But
We
and
heard 3 twice.
I heard
and then-
3, and then I heard Aaliyah. And then when we came over here, I heard sit down, so that's why we're
Yeah,
sitting
they
down.
told us to sit down.
And then over
Over
there,
there,
it said to wait.
I moved that direction and said something, and then
And
it
it said
popped
wait.
up and said wait.
And then
so
it
we
said
moved over there.
either calm down or what was the other word?
It's because you were like, you want to come play, and they told us to calm down.
It was like calm down or something like that. Yeah.
I was asking the kids if they wanted to come play and run through the lasers.
And straight up
after a
it
few
said it was
times
just like
said calm down.
calm down.
Alright, so I am going to have you guys stand up because this is the only entrance and exit.
Okay.
And I know you're following the directions from what the ghost are telling us.
That's fine. It was
and that's
uncomfortable
perfectly,
anyway.
like, I will do that from time to time.
Raina, your shoes are
But
hot.
sitting in the middle of a parking lot usually isn't a safe idea. But because they told you to wait, like, towards that corner, that's actually a really great spot to be in.
Okay.
I
Okay.
do
can
get
go
a lot
back
of
over
activity
there.
out of there. You go up there. What questions did I give you? It was about the kids, right?
How
The
many?
kids' names and how many they were.
Ask what happened to the mansion up in that corner. See if you get an answer out of that.
What happened to the mansion up in that corner?
Up here, where it told me to wait.
Here, can I have back?
Watch out, there's a puddle. Okay. Watch out, there's another puddle. I'm trying to push you. Raina, okay, fine. I'll just let you walk into water. I'm just trying to help. No need to get all the... Okay, if there is anything over here, can you please tell us what happened to the mansion in this corner over here? We heard that there were slaves, and other things, and we just wanted to know what happened to that building. Oh, come here. We can get on camera if it says something.
It's fine.
Whatever. I would like to hear it too. I can't hear it. I would like to hear it if something pops up. I'm just asking to you to stay next to me.
It is nice.
I can't hear it though right now. I'm just asking you to stay next to me. Oh my god, never mind. Pissing me off. Just forget it. Okay, Mom.
What happened to the mansion? You want to tell us what happened to the mansion?
Any readings from your patient? See a couple of oranges, anything?
That's the highest it's gotten. Okay, so like there.
Wow, that thing's going a little crazy, huh? Have you had anything come out of it?
No.
Not since we moved out of here. It's been like this whole time.
Wow. Alright, I'm going to follow up with Austin real quick, and then I'm going to start to pull us to the back so I can get you guys these answers, and that way we can move on to the next spot. The stuff you guys are giving me is pretty decent, but it's nothing like super solid. So
They're not giving us solid
Yeah.
answers. There's like, they're not talking about it.
Yeah, but when you look at like things as a whole, like what everybody's getting, it's a little bit here and there. It's kind of piecing together slowly.
How do we walk through the lasers? Jump on the red button. Green button.
Or turn the lasers off.
Turn them off.
You can also turn them off. Or punch my mom in the face.
Do that. Pull one of the girls' hairs. I want to know what happened to the mansion. Can you tell us what happened to the mansion, please?
Where did you just come from? Where did you just come from?
Over there.
Wait, do that again.
Yeah, what again?
Walk. Wait.
The
Looking at
shadow?
a shadow?
Yeah. No, that wasn't you. It was right here. It was like against this. It was like a.
Filming it?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's
I hope
save it.
so.
Make sure we're not going to lose it because this camera does. We can take
There it is.
We'll take a quick little detour over there.
That's why I keep like staying over there because I can't tell if it's just my imaginary or if I
Not at
actually.
all. We'll test you out. See what's going on. So here's what's going to happen from here. We are going to walk by up there in that area, and we're going to go to basically through Raper's Alley. I'm trying to think if we want to talk about Lodge Alley tonight. And then we're going to go straight to Philadelphia Alley, I believe. So let's check out this location. I'm actually curious myself. So again, sometimes I let the evidence just kind of steer us in a different direction. So we're kind of rerouting a little bit if everybody's cool with that.
Yeah.
All right, I figured as much. All right, so let's let this car go by. We are going to film once we are, as we're passing by. So definitely keep your videos recording. I want to keep your EMF and REM pod going with this. But once we reach like the major, because we're going to have to cross through the market to get to the next location, we're going to stop those recordings. Spirit boxes with earbuds, definitely continue listening. And as far as EMF readings, as we get to the closer to the market, your numbers are going to go crazy, your colors are going to go crazy. Ignore them. In fact, actually, after we leave that building, I want you to turn the REM part off. Did Dad show you how to do that? Okay, so that's the little white button in the back. So as we're kind of walking, we'll shut that off. But continue recording. Let's go walk by it slowly and see if we can capture. I'm kind of curious.
Maybe it's just like something on the inside.
Maybe.
I swear, I just look over and I see like a white like face. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can't. What?
That's correct.
Whoa.
Creepy, huh?
That's yeah.
What is that about there being?
I don't know, but I mean that's kind of. This whole place gives me the creeps.
Yes, I've actually been looking at this building particularly because I do want to have, like, obviously a paranormal shop where I sell the equipment and books on Charleston, but have a haunted hotel above it where every guest gets a ticket. So we're looking at this location. So let's get really around to that front part, but I did want to kind of see if you guys wanted to get some footage back here, which they are, if anything actually pops up. So let's go walk around to the front side of the building, and that way Lily can get close to that area and maybe something will pop up over here. Obviously, I've never brought it up over here before, so that'd be so. Harry, come here.
Are you getting the blue? Is it the blue thing?
So yeah, it's the temperature of glass. But ooh, what's that?
Is that a face?
Go into that wood board. That's a wood board right there.
Yeah.
That's
There might be like an opening.
picking up temperature on the glass.
Make it. Only right in. Only hold on right in.
I'm keeping
Oh my god, no, I don't wanna look in here and like see something. Hold on, I'm gonna record it. Oh, am I allowed to record it? No one owns it.
You're not a cop, so it doesn't matter.
You see anything wrong? I know you have the same thing I did.
I thought I did when I first looked in. I thought I saw something move, but I haven't seen anything since.
I'm coming. Ugh. I don't like it in here. It's so creepy. Oh, sorry. That was. Is it reaching? No, there's for sure. There's for sure. I just know it. Come on, show yourself. Don't be shy. What? Aren't we ghost hunting? If I see something, I'm gonna stop and record it. I will catch up.
You go to any park
I don't know what this is, but who knows? I'm literally right here.
Alright, so
Spirit boxes, what have we heard along the way here? Pretty common. A lot of
Yeah, nothing wrong.
Okay. It was for me, and then I stopped it when I heard it.
Okay. Thermal imaging, same thing. Be very discreet. Go ahead and get that circle button. Just make sure the camera's on the left before you start. Stop the video.
You have to get the light in there.
Oh yeah. That's not the best. That's it. Now, there you go. Perfect. One more time. There you go. Alright, so welcome to the lodge now. I was gonna take you straight to Philadelphia Alley and skip this spot, but you guys seem like you're really about to be older type license. So when we cross that last crosswalk coming through, that's where the original Charles Town Wall, Charleston before Charles Tower, which means more inside the original city walls, which means you're standing on one of the first streets we ever had. So these bricks that we know of have been here for at least since 1739. Yeah, and that's why they're kind of all historic. So normally what I would do before I hit the murder guys, people like, oh, they just told me, like, I see a ghost over there, let's go there first. I would ask my spirit box folks to basically for names along the way. Oh, I don't even think I got to finish the Eliza piece. Wow, I really got to murder. So, Eliza's dead. Where was that? 1793. She got cancer. You guys got that right?
Yeah.
Right in Philadelphia. So the last piece of that was the president.
Oh, yeah.
So let me kind of give you that one for a second. So anybody want to take a stab at the president who was the pallbearer at Eliza's funeral in 1793?
No idea.
My one's place was Washington. So the funny thing about that location is the first thing I tell you when we get there is I'm not going to be giving the spirit boxes questions like what color is George Washington's white horse. They do that on purpose. So that way everybody has a subliminal message of George Washington in the back of their brain, and I want to see who's going to spit it off first. So that way I know that person's only going to be repeating everything that I say. The fact that you guys didn't give me an answer at all, which is a good pass or a fail. So kind of take that for, this is a great team. I like when I have both places. But normally, the names here, I would normally ask people to listen for names along the way here, because I have the full list of residents of every person that's ever lived on this road. So, with that being said, don't be too impressed because it's not a very lengthy list. You just have access to them. So the names I commonly hear are Benjamin and John, which I get every 6 to 7 weeks. Now, here's what we're dealing with. You're standing on Belgian blocks. These Belgian blocks are made of granite, which comes straight from the earth, just like limestone. You've all seen like during the paranormal, you've heard the term limestone before. Limestone is said to stir up paranormal activity. We're dealing with the stone tape theory here. Basically, in a nutshell, these stones, because they've been laid here since 1739, are hanging on to the consciousness of the memories of the things that I've heard here. Now, I did not expect anybody to give me the name of Benjamin and John, but I did tell you ahead of time because it's an experiment for me. I've never done that before. Normally, we come straight here. I'm going to take the edge. But Benjamin and John, their names only show up every 6 to 7 weeks. Right now in the loop, we're on week 4 or 5. Again, I haven't really pinned it down to an exact time frame, moon phase, whatever it is that's making these names pop up. Now, Benjamin and John both lived here in 1801. That's 2 out of 5 people that lived here. So but that's pretty good odds that it's the right John, even though there were 4 different Johns that live here. To verify that, we'll get John's last name. John. Yes, his name was John Johnson. So, do I have anything specific about 1801 or John Johnson? No. All about these bricks that we're standing on. So at this point, Aaron, I want you to put your device literally on top of a brick and tell me if your red number is light up at all. Nope, I want you to just put it straight down on the ground and let me know if you get any numbers. We should only get about a 1.1 to 1.4 out of this because that's natural EMF from the earth. So far we're at like a 1.2. So at times that thing will spike all the way up to 12 or 15. And we're not supposed to have anything in this location because the ground is not going to spit off that much EMF. So this is kind of an experiment night after night that I've been doing for the past 3 weeks to see how high we can actually make it go. But right now it doesn't look like we're going to get much out of it. So go ahead, I would go ahead and take it up. It's not going to get much. If 4 people lived here, and 3 Masons have a Masonic lodge here, hence the name Lodge Alley. So I do get terms like Freemason and Mason and brick and symbols like to show up here too whenever I bring that up, and I'll show some of the words on the end so you know. But I also get the words Illuminati show up on the register boxes all the time in this space. Now, first off, who the hell's talking about the Illuminati on the radio? Because it is radio chatter that's popping through, and it's only in this space. Last year alone, we had it 6 times. This year so far, it's been 3. Again, very interesting that it pops up only while we're in this location. So, I know it's kind of a weird drag because we can't really ask questions because it's on a loop and we're not in the middle of that loop, but knowing more about the stone thief theory kind of gives us a little bit more insight onto the earth around us. The next space we're going to is another alley, but I can't take you all the way through it. Why? Because I didn't take that. You guys have all the blinky lights and all the noisemakers, and it is considered residential at the end of it, and it's not fair for my group of 10 to try to look around groups of 20, which is going to be 20 to 60 people in an alley just like this. It's not fair for us. But however, I am going to tell you what goes on down there outside the alley to stir up the activity, because we will get things that will bleed over into our last stop from that space. It kind of mix over a little bit, and you and I are going to talk a little bit more about memory when we get over to the power magazine. So normally I would also run another experiment, which is super weird that I'm seeing so many tours happening like this. I love coming here, but other tours don't come here. You're going to find we're just going to stay out of their way because we're in larger groups. This might not be a tour guide group, but we are going to cut up through the middle of this one. Once we exit the alley, Lily and Austin will start to stop. You're like at the perfect angle, so just kind of like and right on it. Love it, love it, love it. So, a lot of tours go down there. How many pictures have you been getting us, by the way? A couple hundred. Just slacking. So with this location, this is called Philadelphia Alley, but it used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. We all tell the story of one specific duel because we can actually prove that it happened. And of course, I'm going to tell you the story a lot differently because you're ghost hunting. This is not a campfire ghost story, just so you guys know. Here's how this one goes. Doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. He moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée Amanda, who just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She's an attorney that's helping her out with all of the money. The attorney thinks the doctor's just after her cash flow, so he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. Dr. Ladd moves to Charleston to prove that he's not after his fiancée's money, and as he's coming into town, the coachman set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start. He was going to die right away. However, somebody was walking by. His name is Ralph Isaacs. I'm going to stop on Ralph because when you're ghost hunting, initials mean something. Ralph has the same initials as where the doctor came from, Rhode Island. RI shows up here a lot, but we always need the secondary verifier so we know who it belongs to, because these are the 2 main characters of this tale. Him and Ralph actually tells the doctor, this guy's going to try to kill you. I know him, and he's not a good guy. So he's like, but I got some friends at 59 Church Street. You can stay there, and you'll be safe and good to go. The doctor takes him up on this offer, and the 2 become friends. The longer the doctor stays in Charleston, the more his medical practice starts to take off. He's making his own cash now. That means he's proving to Amanda he wasn't after her money, and that means she's moving down soon. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. Every haunted city you will ever visit in the future has a cliched whistling ghost. I can guarantee it. However, I actually have the proof from this particular tale. So let's kind of move on. Him and Ralph go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money than him. He gets better seats. They talk about these plays on the way home. One night they go see William III from Shakespeare, and they're talking about the new actress that was in town. The doctor thought she was fantastic, but Ralph, not so much. The argument gets a little bit more heated when Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiancée back home in Rhode Island. They go their separate ways. Ralph being from here goes to his friends at the newspaper, tells them he wants to put an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston. What did you get?
I just said Whistler.
Yeah,
Bingo.
she was whistling when you,
Well,
as she was walking over. You said
Everybody
said
throws a
Whistler.
whistle down the alley.
I know, I just
I'm
thought that
not
was
talking about
cool.
But you heard Whistler, so that's, and she has the one that's recording, so we will all be able to hear that word Whistler. So where was I? I was at Ralph's placing an ad, right? So he's telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Dr. Ladd sees the ad in the paper and rebels with, let's go to Jeweller's App. We're going to settle. They come down, they take your 10 paces, they turn, the doctor points his gun in the air, and he shoots. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to prove a point that he was willing to fight for, sticking up for Amanda. But Ralph has his one shot. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. So he doesn't die either. Friends pick him up for being shot, take him home to 59 Church Street, and he dies 10 days later after refusing medical treatment. So remember, he's a doctor. He probably tried to bleed his bullet out himself in the late 1700s. So the campfire part of this is that you can actually hear the whistles from the doctor, but we do get songs and the word whistle or whistler show up as he's throwing the story up over here. But if you guys are going to go down there with your voice recorders and try to record it on your own, just keep in mind everybody knows the story is that we just proved that people walking by are going to throw a whistle down the alley. So, and it goes for both sides of the alley. So that's Queen Street on the other side, Cumberland on this side. They're going to throw a whistle. When you guys get a whistle on your voice recorders, just keep in mind it's going to be very, very faint. It's not going to be super loud. So let's get into how I got booted out of here. That's the fun part of this, right? How did Nick get in trouble? This alley didn't always go all the way through. That's the history behind it, which means the bricks on the other side are older. I would always show off those bricks because they have a handprint from the slave children that used to sun dry those bricks. The handprint is there in full force. You can see it's much smaller than a normal adult hand. And then there are fingerprint swipes in some of those slave children as well. Everybody wants to treat that brick the same way, some people want to treat a grave. I don't do it that way. Obviously, that kid's not staring at the brick in the afterlife. We're not going to get anything from that. That kid is back home with his mom somewhere, and we're just not going to get anything. However, on November 26th of 2020, my entire group decided to huddle around that one brick and try to get a reading or a spirit box, something. I don't know what they were trying for, but I told them you're not going to get anything. It's outside a gentleman's dining room window of his beautiful mansion at the end of this alley. He came out not happy with me because I was in the wrong and out of bounds of where tours are actually allowed to go. So the next day was Thanksgiving. I did not have a tour, but the day after that, November 28th, 2020, I get a phone call from the tourism office asking me to reroute the entire tour or to only go down halfway. Like, that's as far as we're allowed to go. It's not fair to you guys, like I said earlier, so I decided to reroute that night and tell my team, we're going to wing it. I'm not a big pirates person, and I don't even believe in this story. However, I did not tell them who we were going to be investigating, and somebody hears the name Anne on a spirit box before we leave. Did not tell them we were going to be investigating Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. We get down there, and somebody else hears the number 300. I don't know what that means either, so the next day, and I'm researching, going through their data, I find out that Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was on November 28th of 1720. We were there on November 28th of 2020, the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. So now I take you guys back there every single night. I will tell you as we go up there, the crazy thing about this is I had to read a crap ton of pirate books to try to put together the lore of piracy and get as much factual data as I possibly can for an actual investigation. So everything I'm about to tell you at the next location is as much factual as it can possibly be, but it is a hit or miss location. We're either going to get a ton of activity or we're not going to get anything at all, as we should say for all places, but the Pinckney Mansion site is pretty much a nightly thing, just so you know. Did we hear or see anything on the spirit boxes or cameras before we move on to the powder magazine? We will get terms from this location as we're investigating Anne Bonny, just so you guys know. Number 59 loves to show up because of the address, the word church, shot, doctor, medicine, anything obviously relating to a doctor, RI from the initials, like all kinds of terms will show up from this location. I'm not going to give you the numbers that will normally show up here, just so you guys, there's specific numbers that love to show up because of this location. We'll kind of take that in stride. And you're looking at me like, what numbers are they? I'm not telling you. We're definitely going to be using your lasers at the next location as well. So let's get everybody back to work and go talk about some pirates.
Yay. Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, did someone just whisper? Oh, there's gotta be something in here. Maybe not.
But it is amazing, and we just switched over to this torch too, so we don't have like the bubble lights in there, giving us strange anomalies. Yeah, I've upgraded that whole kit. Like,
Yeah.
Except for now, I gotta use the old camera with the new kit.
Yeah.
Pisses me off.
Thank you.
What do you got now?
Certainly think mistake mounts unlocked.
Jack. Okay, I'm gonna say something just to see if this is real. Or Spirit, if you can hear me, I want you to say the name Jack as the kitty. On one of the spirit boxes. Okay. The cat meowed at me. I'm coming. What? What's up? What's up?
What'd you get?
It said, look behind Jesus.
Look behind Jesus. That's weird.
Ours said look on the way over here.
Did it?
No, it
That
didn't.
thing.
It said it just now.
Or,
Like in here, not on the way.
yeah, right over here. It said look.
Bring your red laser grid over here, and then Lily, I want you to kind of stand right here, filming this way.
Okay.
But I want you to get your laser on the ground, and then slowly we're going to put it up to this wall. Yeah, go straight out. I want to get a laser grid going this way. I just want to make sure you can control it. Perfect. So your red line is at the very top of the wall. We don't want to go past that. So basically what we're looking for here, Lily, is I want something to kind of show up in the middle of the grid and kind of move its way through it. But the fact that this is a more spread out space instead of view towards the ground, if you only have 2.5 to 3 feet down, this way we can actually get 10 feet.
Okay.
So just kind of hang out here for a minute and see if anything is actually going to pop up. Actually move down a little bit so we're not getting false positives from that corner. Perfect. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Great job. Charming. Come up.
Got Tom Tom. Then I got. Where was the back guy? And light. What am I working? We got paid to break it to you.
No, we're gone.
No, it wasn't on.
We left the parking lot. Taking the temperature of the wall. Very sophisticated.
Staring at brick walls.
Just holding the camera.
I just heard laugh. Right, we are the champions. Yes, and we know you're the champion. Tell us the color of your hair. Crazy, you can see? Okay. Did you guys go up to the front yet? Or are there people up there?
There was tourists and stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, there seems to be a lot of people up
Oh,
there.
hello.
Oh, jeez, I didn't even think of that. Oh, you had a red dot up there, so he's probably looking to chase it.
Wait, see if he will.
Yeah, that thing's bright.
Yeah.
20?
Available 20.
17, 20.
He's on it.
Let's go this way.
Right, no, let's go this way. Right.
Oh, she's not coming. She's not coming. I don't know. She's thinking off for the laugh at it. She just like the worst attitude.
Oh, y'all both did earlier.
Well, she's been pissing me off this entire trip. I wish I didn't leave her. I mean, she's just been so great. She keeps. I'm across the street. Or I'll get something closer. Hey, what's up?
And what was the color of your hair?
Red. I heard it. I heard red.
I didn't hear anything. Did you hear anything?
Huh?
No?
What if it's
I hear a woman's voice, like the same woman's voice. Like talking.
I didn't hear anything.
Keep asking questions. I hear like a woman's voice.
And what was the color of your hair?
Red. You didn't hear that?
Didn't sound like red. Can you talk to us?
I don't know if he's talking.